Hello students, welcome to Extra Marks Live. My name is Vinay Tolwani and I am mathematics educator at Extra Marks Live. So students, today we are going to discuss about application of integrals, or in other words, we are going to discuss about area under the curve. So in the first half of the session, I will be explaining you several different cases to how to find area of a particular curve, right? So let's discuss the first case. So let us consider that we have a curve y equal to f of x with us, and this curve y equal to f of x lies completely above x-axis. So this is the first case where the curve y equal to f of x lies completely above the x-axis, right? Now we need to find the area bounded by that particular curve y equal to f of x with x-axis with ordinates x equal to a and x equal to b. So what are the ordinates x equal to a and x equal to b? This is the vertical line x equal to a and this is another vertical line x equal to b. So we need to find area bounded by the curve y equal to fx with respect to x-axis, which lies between the ordinates x equal to a and x equal to b. This area is what? This area is integral of y dx, right? What is y? Y is simply f of x dx. So this would be the area. Now since strictly we want to find the area between the ordinates x equal to a and x equal to b, so I shall simply integrate this y dx or f of x dx from x equal to a to x equal to b, right? So this is the first case where the curve y equal to f of x lies completely above the x-axis, right? Let's move to the next case, right? So let us consider that we again have a curve y equal to f of x, but this time this curve lies completely below x-axis. If this curve lies completely below x-axis, then we simply intend to find the area bounded by y equal to f of x with x-axis between the ordinates x equal to a and x equal to b, right? So now how to find this area? So first of all, if I simply integrate this f of x between x equal to a and x equal to b, so it will come out to be negative. Why it will come out to be negative? Because this y equal to f of x lies completely below x-axis. So if I simply calculate this y dx from x equal to a to x equal to b, this will be coming out to be negative. But area is a quantity which is always positive or zero. Area can never be negative. Since area is a physical quantity which is either zero or either it is positive, it cannot be negative, but this integration will come out to be negative. Therefore, its numerical value or its absolute value is obtained by a simple application of modulus across this integration. And now this would be the area, right? So if you simply calculate this f of x dx, x equal to a to x equal to b, that is if you simply calculate this integration part from x equal to a to x equal to b, then it will definitely come out to be what? It will definitely come out to be negative, right? But since area is always positive, so we need to apply this modulus over here, right? So this is the case when a portion of the curve goes below x-axis, right? So please remember students, whenever a portion of the curve y equal to f of x will go below x-axis, and if we need to find area of that particular portion with respect to x-axis between two fixed ordinates, then in that case particularly we need to apply modulus, right? Because if you simply integrate that portion from x equal to a to x equal to b, where the portion of the curve y equal to f of x lies below x-axis, if you simply calculate that, the integral part, it will come out to be negative and area is never negative. Therefore, we apply modulus to that particular portion where the portion of the curve is going below x-axis, right? So this is the second case and this is really important for us to understand, right? Next, now y equal to f of x crosses the x-axis at x equal to c. So now from the figure itself, this is quite clear that y equal to f of x crosses the x-axis at x equal to c. It begins at x equal to a, it terminates at x equal to b, but it crosses the x-axis at x equal to c, right? So what would be the area, right? So now let us consider that this is a1 and let us consider that this is A2, right? So A will come out to be A1 plus A2. A will come out to be A1 plus A2. What is A1? So A1 would be what? A1 would be now integration of A to C y dx. Since between A to C the curve is below x-axis, so if I simply integrate this y with respect to x from A to C, because y is negative, y is always below x-axis between A to C, so this integral will come out to be negative, right? So how to make it positive? In order to make it positive, I will simply apply modulus over here. I will simply apply modulus over here, right? Plus A2. What is A2? A2 is, because now for calculating A2, again we need to integrate y dx. But between what? C to B. But between C to B, right? But since between C to B, this y equal to f of x always lies above the x-axis. Since y equal to f of x between x equal to C and x equal to B always lies above x-axis, so I shall simply say that there is no need of application of modulus because y is always positive in this case. So there is no need of application of modulus in this case. But certainly it is definitely required to place a modulus between A to C because y is negative between A to C, right? So in this way, we can definitely find the area of a particular curve with respect to x-axis between two fixed ordinates A and B, particularly when the curve crosses x-axis between the two given ordinates, right? So this was the third case, right? So I hope this case is also clear to everyone. So let us quickly solve few questions based on whatever portion I have discussed till now. That is, now we will be solving some multiple problems based on the three cases which I have discussed in the previous slides, right? Let us quickly start solving those questions. We need to find the area bounded by y equal to x square, x equal to 1, x equal to 2 and x-axis. So in order to find area bounded by x square, x equal to 1, x equal to 2 and x-axis, first of all we need to draw the curve y equal to x square. Now y equal to x square is simply a parabola. What kind of parabola it is? It is an upward opening parabola, right? So this is the graph of y equal to x square. Now between x equal to 1 and between x equal to 2, between x equal to 1 and between x equal to 2, we need to find area bounded by x square, x equal to 1, x equal to 2 and x-axis, right? So this would be the area bounded by the curve, right? So now the area is given as y dx. The area is given as y dx and that is particularly from 1 to 2, right? So this is coming out to be what? This is coming out to be x square dx 1 to 2, right? So this will come out to be what? This will come out to be 1 by 3 x cube 1 to 2. So 1 by 3 2 cube minus 1, right? So this comes out to be 8 minus 1 by 3. So what is 8 minus 1 by 3? This is 7 by 3. So 7 by 3 is the correct area, right? See, because there is no need of application of modulus over here, right? Because this whole curve lies above the x-axis. Since this whole curve lies above the x-axis and we need to find this particular area, so there is no need of application of modulus over here. So this is the area obtained, 7 by 3, right? So I hope this basic application of case number 1 is quite clear to everyone, right? So this is simply application of case number 1 which we have studied in our previous slide, right? Next, so let's move to the next example. We need to find area enclosed between y equal to sin x x-axis where x gets varied from 0 to 3 pi by 2, right? So how shall we calculate this area? This is 0, this is pi by 2, this is pi, this is 2 pi, and this is 3 pi by 2, right? So area enclosed between y equal to sin x, x-axis between 0 to 3 pi by 2, right? So this is the shaded area, right? Now how to find this area? So this area will be broken down into two different parts. Let this be A1 and let this be A2, right? So area will be equal to A1 plus A2. What is A1? So A1 is 0 to pi, A1 is 0 to pi sin x dx. And then what is A2? So in order to calculate A2, I need to apply modulus. Why do I need to apply modulus? Because the sin x is going below x-axis. Since this sin x is going below x-axis, so there is a need of application of modulus over here, right? So let's apply modulus. So modulus of integration of sin x dx between pi to 3 pi by 2. Are you getting this point? So let's move further. So I shall write down the area expression once again. This is 0 to pi sin x dx plus modulus of integration of sin x from pi to 3 pi by 2, right? So what is integral of sin x? Integral of sin x is minus cos x. This is 0 to pi, right? Plus modulus of, what is integral of sin x? This is again minus cos x, pi to 3 pi by 2 modulus, right? So this will come out to be what? This will come out to be minus cos pi minus cos 0, right? Plus modulus of minus cos 3 pi by 2 minus cos pi, right? So this would come out to be, what is cos pi, students? Cos pi is minus 1 and cos 0 is 1. So minus 1 is minus 2 and minus minus is plus. So this comes out to be 2, right? Plus cos 3 pi by 2. Cos 3 pi by 2 is what? 0. So this is minus minus plus. So this is mod of minus 1. This comes out to be 2 plus 1, which comes out to be 3. So 3 is the final answer. That is the area bounded by sin x between x equal to 0 to x equal to 3 pi by 2 is coming out to be 3. Where A1 is what? A1 is 2 and this A2 is 1, right? So this comes out to be 2 plus 1. This comes out to be 3, right? So I hope this explanation is quite clear to each and everyone. Let's move further. Compute the larger area bounded by y equal to 4 plus 3x minus x square and the coordinate axis. So basically we need to compute the larger area bounded by this curve and the coordinate axis. In order to find the larger area bounded by this curve and the coordinate axis, firstly we need to plot this curve. So how do I plot this curve? This is really important for us to understand. So y is minus x square plus 3x plus 4, right? And I am considering this as f of x. What is f of 0, students? F of 0 is 4. Now also, when I compare this with y equal to ax square plus bx plus c, how do we plot this curve y equal to x square plus bx plus c? So we all have studied how to plot the graph of a quadratic expression. So in order to plot the graph of quadratic expression, two things are really necessary. The first thing is to know the sign of A. What is the sign of A? Either A is positive or A has to be negative. If A is positive, then the graph is upward opening parabola. If A is negative, then the graph is downward opening parabola. In this case, A is -1. So therefore, the graph has to be downward opening parabola, right? So let's do this. Also, what is the range? What is the range of y? The range of y is minus d by 4a. So if a is negative, I am telling you that case, if a is negative, then y belongs to minus infinity to minus d by 4a, right? And what is the vertex? The vertex is minus b by 2a comma minus d by 4a. So these are the important conditions or necessary conditions to plot the graph of minus x square plus 3x plus 4 equal to y. Let's quickly apply all these conditions to plot the curve. Right? So firstly, I will calculate minus b by 2a. What is minus b by 2a? Minus b by 2a is minus 3 upon 2 into minus 1, which comes out to be 3 by 2. And what is minus d by 4a? So what is d? D comes out to be b square minus 4ac. So b square minus 4 into a into c, which comes out to be 25. 16 plus 9, which comes out to be what? 25. So this is minus d by 4a. So this is minus 25 upon this is minus 25 upon 4 into a. So 4 into minus 1. So this is minus 4. Right? So 3 by 2 comma 25 by 4 is the vertex. Right? Now at x equal to 0, the value is 4. At x equal to 0, the value is coming out to be 4. Right? But vertex is 3 by 2 comma 25 by 4. What is 25 by 4? 25 by 4 is basically 6 point something, right? And also this is downward opening parabola. Also this is downward opening parabola. So this would be a rough curve, right? This would be a rough curve where this point would be what? This point would be 3 by 2 comma 25 by 4. Now, which area we are actually talking about? So we are actually talking about the larger area. See, this would be the smaller area and this has to be the larger area, right? So how this is smaller and how this is larger? This can be interpreted by calculating the roots. What are the roots of this 4 plus 3x minus x square? So if I calculate the roots, one root will come out to be minus 1, because if I substitute minus 1 over here, then this is 4 minus 3 minus 1, which is coming out to be 0. So one root is minus 1 for sure. And what would be the other root? So the other root would be 4, because if I substitute 4 over here, then this would come out to be 12 plus 4, 16, and 16 minus 16 is 0. So the other root is coming out to be 4, right? So now why this area is larger? This area, shaded area, is larger because this is 4 and this is minus 1. So it is quite evident that this area has to be the larger area. Now between the coordinate axis, we need to find this area. So how shall we find this area, right? So in order to find this area, I simply need to integrate this curve from x equal to 0 to x equal to 4. I simply need to integrate this curve from x equal to 0 to x equal to 4. Are you getting this point? So let's quickly do this. So basically area will come out to be what? Area will come out to be integral of y dx, where x lies between 0 to 4. X lies between 0 to 4. So 0 to 4, what is y? Y is 4 plus 3x minus x square. 4 plus 3x minus x square dx, right? 4 plus 3x minus x square dx. So this would come out to be what? This would come out to be 4x plus 3x square by 2 minus x cube by 3. This is coming out to be 0 to 4, right? So what would be the final answer? The final answer would be 16 plus 3 by 2 into 16 minus 1 by 3 into 64, right? So final area would come out to be what? It would come out to be 16 plus 24 minus 64 by 3. So what would be the final area? The final area would come out to be 40 minus 64 by 3. So this is 120 minus 64 by 3. So this will come out to be what? This will come out to be 56 by 3, right? So this is the final area obtained, right? So I hope this is quite clear to each and everyone, and this was really easy problem. The only thing which we need to assure is to plot the correct graph, because if we plot the correct graph, then we can definitely calculate the required area very easily, right? So the only thing is, in each and every question of area which comes across us, we need to plot the curve very, very accurately, right? Once we can get the curve, we can easily form the expression of area, and then we can easily get the correct answer for any problem which has been given to us, right? So this was the solution of this particular problem. Let's move ahead. Find the area enclosed between ln x-axis and the two ordinates at x equal to 1 by e and x equal to e. So how we will do this? Let's see this. Again we have this curve ln x, and this is 1. Now x equal to 1 by e and x equal to e. So this is 1 by e and this is e, right? So what would be the area? Right? So this is A1 and this is A2, right? So the required area will be A1 plus A2, right? So for calculating this A1, we need to integrate ln x with respect to x from 1 by e to 1. But at the same time, we need to apply modulus over here. Because again, as I said, the portion of the curve ln x is below x-axis between 1 by e and 1. The portion of the curve ln x is below x-axis between 1 by e and 1, right? Plus 1 to e ln x dx, right? So what is integral of ln x? The integral of ln x is x ln x minus x, right? So the area would come out to be what? The area would come out to be x ln x minus x between 1 by e and 1 plus this is x ln x minus x (1 to e), right? So what is the area? Now let's substitute 1 over here. When I substitute 1, then I will be getting 0 minus 1. Now let's substitute 1 by e. When I substitute 1 by e, I would be getting 1 by e ln 1 by e minus 1 by e, modulus closed, plus e ln e minus 0 plus 1, right? So what we would be getting? we would be getting area is coming out to be what? Area is coming out to be minus 1. Now what is ln 1 by E? Ln 1 by E is minus ln E, right? Ln 1 by E is minus ln E, which is what? Which is minus 1. So this will become minus minus plus, and this will become plus 1 by E, and this is minus 1 by E, right? So let me explain you once again what is happening over here. See, this is minus 1 and this is minus, now this is minus ln E by E. So let me write down minus 1 by E, and this is minus 1 by E, right? So we have to be very careful with plus minus sign in area, right? Because if we cancel out this 1 by E, the answer would be different. But here we do not need to cancel out 1 by E and 1 by E. Rather they are getting added, added over here, right? So like we have to be very careful with this plus minus signs over here, right? Plus E ln E is E and E minus E is 0. So this portion is 1, right? So further, area is 1 plus modulus of minus 1 plus 2 by E, right? Minus 1 plus 2 by E. So 2 by E means 2 upon 2.7. So 2 upon 2.7 minus 1 has to be negative, right? So therefore this area would come out to be what? This area would come out to be 1 plus 1 minus 2 by E, which comes out to be 2 minus 2 by E. So this is the final answer, right? 2 minus 2 by E is the final answer. Are you getting this point? So this application of modulus and taking care of what is plus and what is minus is really important in area, because a small mistake in plus minus sign can totally make the final answer as wrong answer, right? So we really need to be careful while calculating such problems, right? So area between the curve and y-axis, or area by horizontal strip, right? So earlier what was happening? Earlier we were calculating the area with respect to x-axis between two fixed ordinates. Now the case is totally opposite. Now we will be calculating the area with respect to y-axis between two abscissa, y equal to A and y equal to B. So earlier the area was calculated with respect to x-axis. Now the area is calculated with respect to y-axis between abscissa y equal to C and y equal to D. So earlier the area was y dx. Now the area will be x dy. With respect to x-axis the area was y dx. But with respect to y-axis the area will be x dy. Between abscissa y equal to C and y equal to D. So this is really important to understand the basic difference between calculation of area with respect to x-axis and calculation of area with respect to y-axis. Now let's move ahead and let's apply this particular concept onto a particular problem given to us. So we need to find the area bounded by x equal to 2y minus y square and y-axis. So firstly we will plot this curve. How to plot this curve? So x becomes 0 for what values of y? X becomes 0 for two different values of y. One will be 0 and one will be 2. So this is 0 and this is 2. So roughly this would be the curve. Roughly this would be the curve, right? Now directly we need to obtain the area bounded by this curve and y-axis. So this would be the area. Right? Now we also know that what is the formula for area? The formula for area is x dy. Now no portion of the area is going towards left side of y-axis. If some portion of the graph would have been towards left side of y-axis, in that case we would have applied modulus, right? But since the area is on the positive side of the y-axis, so therefore the area is x dy, where x gets varied from 0 to 2. So this area would come out to be 1 by 2 x square. This is 0 to 2. This is 1 by 2 So sorry for that, we have to represent x in terms of y because we are integrating with respect to y, right? So area will come out to be what? 0 to 2. Now x is 2y minus y square. So 2y minus y square dy. So area would come out to be y square minus y cube by 3, right? So this comes out to be 4 minus 8 by 3. So this again comes out to be 4 by 3. This comes out to be 4 by 3. So 4 by 3 is the final answer for the area calculated, right? 4 by 3 is the final answer, right? Now, as I mentioned in this problem, if the portion of the curve would have been towards left side of y-axis, then again we would have applied modulus. Like if this curve would have been like this, if this would have been the case, then we would have applied modulus over here. Right? So let's move ahead. Find the area bounded by y equal to sine 2x, x-axis, and the lines x equal to pi by 4 and 3 pi by 4. This is 0, this is pi. So this would be pi by 2. This is pi by 4. This is 3 pi by 2. So this would be 3 pi by 4. And this is 2 pi. So this would be 2 pi by 2. And this is pi. Right? So we need to obtain the area bounded by y equal to sine 2x between x equal to pi by 4 and 3 pi by 4, right? So firstly, we need to understand the fact that how to obtain the graph of sine 2x. In order to obtain the graph of sine 2x, simply construct the graph of sine x first. When you construct the graph of sine x, divide each and every value of x by 2. Divide each and every value of x by 2. Like earlier if this was pi by 2, so now this would be pi by 4. Earlier if this was pi, now this would be pi by 2. Earlier if this was 3 pi by 2, now this would be 3 pi by 4. Earlier if this was 2 pi, now it would be 2 pi by 2, that is pi, right? So this is y equal to sine 2x. Now the area has to be obtained, right, between pi by 4 and 3 pi by 4. So this would be the area. Are you getting this point? Now let us name these two areas as A1 and A2 first, right? So area is nothing but it is A1 plus A2, right? So area is, for calculating A1, pi by 4 to pi by 2, pi by 4 to pi by 2, sine 2x dx, plus pi by 2 to 3 pi by 4, pi by 2 to 3 pi by 4, sine 2x dx. Now this curve is going below x-axis. Since this curve goes below x-axis, so we have to apply modulus over here. Since this curve go below x-axis, so we have to apply modulus over here, right? So now let's calculate area further. So what is integration of sine x? The integration of sine x is minus cos x. So what will be the integration of sine 2x? It would be minus cos 2x. So I am writing down the final expression over here. It would be minus cos 2x by 2, minus cos 2x by 2 from pi by 4 to pi by 2, from pi by 4 to pi by 2, plus modulus of again minus cos 2x by 2, modulus closed, but this time from pi by 2 to 3 pi by 4, right? because the area has to be obtained with respect to x-axis, right? Since the area has to be obtained with respect to x-axis, so this would be the final expression of the area, right? Now I hope you can easily obtain this particular area simply by substituting the values, right? So here I would be expressing the final answer. So area is coming out to be minus 1 by 2, cos 2 pi by 2 is cos pi, which is minus 1, and minus cos 2 pi by 4, so this would be 0, right? Plus mod of minus 1 by 2. So cos 2 into 3 pi by 4 is cos 3 pi by 2. So cos 3 pi by 2 is again 0, right? So cos 3 pi by 2 is again 0, and cos 2 into pi by 2 is cos pi. So what is cos pi? Cos pi is minus 1. So minus times of minus 1 will become plus 1, right? So now you can easily get the value. This is 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, which will come out to be 1. So 1 is the final area, because this A1 is coming out to be 1 by 2, and this A2 will also come out to be 1 by 2. So the area is coming out to be what? It is coming out to be 1, right? From symmetricity also, we can directly tell that this whole area will be 2 times of A1, right? This whole area will be 2 times of A1. By symmetricity, we can directly tell. Next. So area enclosed between two curves. So let us consider this particular case where there are two different curves. Earlier, we wished to calculate the area bounded by a particular curve x-axis between the ordinates x equal to a and x equal to b. So earlier, only one curve was under the consideration, and the area was calculated with respect to x-axis. Now the condition is very different. There are two different curves, one is fx and the other is gx. Now we need to find the area enclosed between these two curves fx and gx between the ordinates x equal to a and x equal to b. So what would be the expression of area, right? So this area would come out to be fx minus gx dx a to b. So upper curve minus lower curve and the integration with respect to x between a to b. Very simple concept. Upper curve minus lower curve. Upper curve minus lower curve. Very simple concept. The upper curve is f of x, the lower curve is g of x, and the integration is happening from a to b. Are you getting this point? So I hope this is quite clear to everyone, right? Let's move ahead. So in this case, what would be the area, right? So this curve is f and this curve is g. Now let's say I want to find the area between a and area between b. So how would I find the area between a and how would I find the area between b, right? So firstly, I need to understand the fact that at a and b both are intersecting with each other. At a and b both the curves are intersecting with each other. Between a and between b, f is always upwards. Between a and b, f is always upwards and g is always downwards. So directly I can mention a to b, f of x minus g of x dx would be the expression for the area. So area would be upper curve. See, between a and b, at x equal to a and x equal to b, both the curves are intersecting with each other. So the area would be fx minus gx dx between a to b, right? Next, so this case is really interesting for us. Now between x equal to a and x equal to b, I need to find the area. Between x equal to a and x equal to b, so I need to find the area bounded between the two curves. So let us break this into two different parts. So between a to c, which is the upper curve, between a to c, fx is upper and gx is lower. Between a to c, fx is upper and gx is lower. So this would be fx minus gx dx plus between C and between B. Between C and between B, gx is upper and fx is lower. So between C and B, gx minus fx will be the case, right? Gx minus fx will be the case. So this would be the final expression. So upper curve minus lower curve will be the concept. The actual concept is upper minus lower. So upper is f, lower is g between A to C. And between C to B, upper is g, lower is f. So here is the correct expression for the area. Let's move ahead. Area enclosed between a curve and the y-axis. So this thing, although I have already discussed, but I would be explaining you once again. So earlier we were calculating the area with respect to x-axis, now we are calculating with respect to y-axis. And area is g of y dy between y equal to c and y equal to d. This is the area, right? Find the area bounded by sine inverse x, cos inverse x and the x-axis. So how would I find the area? Let us quickly have a look at it. Right? So first of all, we need to plot the curve. Right? So let's plot the curve first. So this is the graph of sine inverse x. Now on the same scale, I wish to draw the graph of cos inverse x. On the same scale, I would be constructing the graph of cos inverse x, right? So this is the graph of cos inverse x, right? Now this is pi by 2, and this is 0, and this is minus pi by 2, right? So we need to find the area bounded by sine inverse x, cos inverse x and the x-axis. So what would be that area? Area bounded by these two curves and x-axis. So this is quite obvious that the area shaded is the required area. The area shaded is the required area, right? Because this is the only area which we require, right? So let me show you once again in a proper manner so that nobody faces any confusion over here. This is the required area, right? So how to calculate this area? See, area bounded by these two curves and x-axis will be this only, right? Now, what would be the point of intersection? What would be the point of intersection? So this point of intersection would be 1 by root 2. Because at 1 by root 2, both become equal to pi by 4. This point of intersection would be 1 by root 2. Because at 1 by root 2 both become equal to pi by 4. So how to calculate this area? So in order to calculate this area, there are two different ways. One is to integrate sine inverse x and cos inverse x separately, right? One is to integrate this curve like this. So one method is to integrate, what is this green curve? This green curve is sine inverse x. So this is sine inverse x. This green colored curve is sine inverse x. And this yellow colored curve is cos inverse x. So one method is, so to integrate sine inverse x between 0 to 1 by root 2, right? Between 0 to 1 by root 2 to integrate sine inverse x, and between 1 by root 2 to 1 integrate cos inverse x. Between 1 by root 2 to 1 integrate cos inverse x with respect to x. So in this way we can obtain the area, right? Now the main part is how to integrate these two expressions which I have written over here, right? So let's quickly have a look at it. So the expression is 0 to 1 by root 2 sine inverse x dx plus 1 by root 2 to 1 cos inverse x dx. So I would be making use of inverse trigonometric functions over here, right? Now to evaluate this integration, I will substitute x equal to what? I will substitute x equal to sine theta. So what will be dx? Dx will be cos theta, right? And to evaluate this integration, I will substitute x equal to cos theta. If x is cos theta, then dx will be minus sine theta d theta, right? So this area would come out to be what? This area would come out to be sine inverse sine theta cos theta d theta. So sine inverse sine theta, but theta varies from where to where. If x is 0, then theta will be 0. If x is 1 by root 2, then theta will be what? If x is 1 by root 2, then theta will be pi by 4. So 0 to pi by 4 sine inverse sine theta. What is sine inverse sine theta? It is theta because theta lies between 0 to pi by 4. Because theta lies between 0 to pi by 4, so sine inverse sine theta is theta. And this is theta cos theta d theta plus. Now if I substitute x equal to 1 by root 2, theta will be pi by 4. And if I substitute x equal to 1, what will be the value of theta? The value of theta will be 0 over here, right? So this is pi by 4 to 0 cos inverse cos theta. So again cos inverse cos theta between 0 to pi by 4 is what? Theta only. Between 0 to pi by 4 cos inverse cos theta is theta only. But what is dx? Dx is minus sine theta d theta, right? Are you getting this point or not? So this can be written as integration of 0 to pi by 4 theta cos theta d theta, theta cos theta d theta plus 0 to pi by 4 theta sin theta d theta. Now this minus sign was common, and again taking one more minus sign common, I exchange the limits from 0 to pi by 4 instead from pi by 4 to 0. So this minus minus becomes plus over here. Now we need to apply by parts over here. How to apply by parts, students? So if I consider this as first function and this as second function, again if I consider theta as first function and sin theta as second function, so what it would come out to be? So it would come out to be area is first function into integration of second function minus integration of derivative of first function into integration of second function, which is again sin theta d theta, plus first function into integration of second function minus integration of derivative of first function into integration of second function, which is plus cos theta, right? So what it would come out to be? This would come out to be theta sin theta, and this is plus cos theta minus theta cos theta, and this is plus sin theta, right? And this happens from 0 to pi by 4. Now you can actually place your limits and you can actually get the correct answer, right? So at pi by 4, what will be the value? At pi by 4, this theta sin theta and theta cos theta will be 0 only, right? And at 0 also this would be 0. At pi by 4, this theta sin theta will be pi by 4 sin pi by 4, and this theta cos theta will be pi by 4 cos pi by 4. So both are same at pi by 4, and at 0 also both are same because theta tends to 0. So there is no need of using this while substituting the limits. Now the final expression is sin plus cos. So sine plus cos at pi by 4 is what? Sine plus cos at pi by 4 is root 2 minus at 0 cos will be 1, sine will be 0. So the final answer is coming out to be root 2 minus 1. So therefore the final answer comes out to be root 2 minus 1. This is really important problem as far as understanding the concepts of area in much better way is concerned, right? So therefore C option is the correct option. So as far as understanding the concepts are concerned, this is really nice problem, right? Now I was also telling you the another way how to solve this problem. Another way to solve this problem is to integrate this curve with respect to y-axis. Like instead of calculating this area, calculate this area. Instead of calculating that area, calculate this area. Answer would be same, right? You can easily calculate that area with respect to y-axis, right? Next, find the area bounded by 4 sine inverse x equal to 0, y equal to 0 and y equal to pi by 2. So let's calculate this. So this is 0, this is 4 into pi by 2. So 4 into pi by 2 is what? 2 pi, and this is minus 2 pi, right? Now we need to calculate the area bounded by 4 sine inverse x. X equal to 0 means y-axis. Between y equal to 0 and y equal to pi by 2. But since this is 4 sine inverse x, so this is not pi by 2, rather this would be 2 pi. Now we are specifically speaking about the area bounded till pi by 2. Area bounded till pi by 2, right? So we are specifically speaking about this portion of the curve. This is pi by 2, right? So how to obtain this shaded area? The shaded area can easily be obtained by simply applying the formula which we have learnt over here, that is area is x dy, where y gets varied from 0 to pi by 2. What is x? So if y is equal to 4 sine inverse x, so we all know that y is equal to 4 sine inverse x. So y by 4 sine y by 4 will be equal to x. So area will come out to be integration of sine of y by 4 dy. Y by 4 dy from 0 to pi by 2, right? From 0 to pi by 2. So this area is minus cos y. This area is minus cos y. So this is coming out to be minus cos of y by 4 minus cos of y by 4 upon 1 by 4, right? And this is getting varied from 0 to pi by 2, right? Now what would be the final answer? The final answer would come out to be minus 4 cos pi by 8 cos pi by 8 minus cos 0, which is 1, right? So this comes out to be what? So I am writing down the final answer over here. So this final answer is coming out to be 1 minus cos pi by 8. 4 times of 1 minus cos pi by 8. So this is the final answer that we are getting over here, right? So let's move ahead. Find the ratio in which area enclosed by the curve y equal to cos x, x belongs to 0 to pi by 2 in the first quadrant, is divided by the curve y equal to sin x. So 0 to pi by 2. If I consider 0 to pi by 2, then this is the curve which we are specifically speaking about. This is 0, this is pi by 2, and this is 1. Now y equal to sin x is also there in the picture. So this is y equal to sin x. So the area enclosed by the curve y equal to cos x, x belongs to 0 to pi by 2, is divided by the curve. So if I calculate this as a1 and this as a2, then I wish to report what? I wish to report a1 upon a2. I wish to report a1 upon a2. So how to calculate this a1 upon a2? Firstly, right? So once I calculate this whole area and once I calculate this a2, I can easily get a1, right? Because a1 plus a2 is what? Because a1 plus a2 is nothing but it is simple integration of 0 to pi by 2 cos x dx, right? Which is sin x sin pi by 2 minus sin 0, which is 1. So a1 plus a2 is 1, right? Now how to calculate a2? In order to calculate a2, let's understand that they intersect at pi by 4. Now a2 is further divided into two different parts. One is 0 to pi by 4. So 0 to pi by 4 sin x dx, right? Plus pi by 4 to pi by 2. Plus pi by 4 to pi by 2 cos x dx. This is a2, right? 0 to pi by 4 sin x dx plus pi by 4 to pi by 2 cos x dx. So this is the curve which I am speaking about right now, right? So final a2 comes out to be what? a2 comes out to be 0 to pi by 4 sin x dx plus pi by 4 to pi by 2 pi by 4 to pi by 2 cos x dx. So this is minus cos x 0 to pi by 4 plus sin x pi by 4 to pi by 2, right? So this comes out to be what? This comes out to be cos pi by 4 is 1 by root 2 and cos 0 is 1 plus sin pi by 2 is 1 and sin pi by 4 is 1 by root 2, right? So a2 is 2 times of 1 minus 1 by root 2. So 2 times of 1 minus 1 by root 2 is a2, right? Now let's find a1. a1 is 1 minus a2, which is 1 minus 2 minus 2 by root 2. So this would be plus root 2. So this is root 2 minus 1. Right? This is root 2 minus 1. So what would be a1 upon a2? a1 upon a2 would be root 2 minus 1 upon 2 times of root 2 minus 1 upon root 2. So this would come out to be 1 by root 2. a1 upon a2 comes out to be 1 by root 2 in this case, right? So therefore the final answer is coming out to be what? The final answer is coming out to be 1 by root 2, right? Let's proceed ahead. Area enclosed between two curves by horizontal strips. So like let us consider that now we want to calculate the same expression, that is we want to calculate area bounded between two curves. But now the thing over here is that we need to calculate by taking area with respect to y-axis. So first of all, what is the curve which is towards the right side? The curve which is towards the right side is, let me show you, this is x equal to f of y, right? What is the curve which is towards left side? So the curve which is towards left side is x is equal to g of y. So right side minus left side, right side minus left side. So this will come out to be what? This will come out to be f of y minus g of y dy, where y gets varied from C to D, right? C to D. Why I have taken right side curve first and left side curve afterwards? Because if you look at f of y dy, if you look at f of y dy, then this would be the complete area. This would be the complete area of f of y dy. Now when I subtract another area, that is when I subtract g of y dy, this white shaded area is g of y dy. So out of this yellow area, if I subtract this white area, then obviously this green colored area will be obtained, right? So out of this yellow colored area, if I subtract this white colored area, then I will be obtaining this green colored area. So this is the concept behind this horizontal strip area bounded between two curves, right? Next, so let's apply this in one of the problems given to us. So we need to find the area between these two parabolas, minus 2y square and 1 minus 3y square. So how to find this area? So what is minus 2y square and what is 1 minus 3y square? So this is minus 2y square. This curve is minus 2y square is equal to x, right? And this curve is what? This curve is 1 minus 3y square. This curve is 1 minus 3y square, right? So if x becomes equal to 0, then y will come out to be plus minus 1 by root 3, right? So this will come out to be 1 by root 3 and this will come out to be minus 1 by root 3. If y becomes 0, then what will be the value of x? If y becomes 0, then x value will be what? It will be 1. So we need to find this area. We are concerned with this area, right? So this area would come out to be what? This area would come out to be 1 minus 3y square dy minus 2y square dy. So 1 minus 3y square dy minus 2y square dy, right? And y is getting varied from minus 1 by root 3 to 1 by root 3, right? So you can easily integrate this now. This will be y minus 3y square upon, so 3y square integration is y cube. So y minus y cube, this is minus 1 by root 3 to 1 by root 3 plus 2 by 3 y cube, right? 2 by 3 y cube, and y again gets varied from minus 1 by root 3 to 1 by root 3, right? So in this way you can get the final answer over here, right? So just place the limits over here and you would be getting the final answer, right? So I am leaving this calculation parts up to you, considering the time constraints. So let's move ahead. So now I would be explaining you some standard results. What is the area bounded by y square equal to 4ax and x square equal to 4by? So directly note down this standard result. The area bounded by the curves y square equal to 4ax and x square equal to 4by is 16ab upon 3. Next, area included between the parabolas y square equal to 4ax and the line y equal to mx. So also let me show you this area. So this is y square equal to 4ax and this is x square equal to 4by. So I am talking about this particular area. So this area is 16ab upon 3 if this curve is what? This curve is x square equal to 4by. If this curve is x square equal to 4by and y square equal to 4ax, right? Next, area included between the curves y square equal to 4ax so this is y square equal to 4ax and the line y equal to mx. So this is the line y equal to mx, right? And this is y square equal to 4ax. So what will be that area? So this is the area, and this area can easily be calculated by 2 under root ax dx minus mx dx. X gets varied from 0 to alpha. X gets varied from 0 to alpha, where alpha is nothing but it is point of intersection of curve and line. So in this way you can derive this also, but I would recommend you to directly remember this points 8a square upon 3m cube, right? Because in several problems this application has been asked. So I would recommend you to directly remember this particular formula. So if the area bounded by the parabola y square equal to 4 lambda x, so what is y square equal to 4 lambda x? This is y, this is x. This is the parabola under the consideration, and this is the line. Right? Right? So this is y equal to lambda x and this is y square equal to 4 lambda x, right? So what was the area obtained? 8a square upon 3m cube. 8a square upon 3m cube. What is a square in this case? A square is lambda square in this case, because a is lambda in this case. And what is m cube? What is m in this case? M is also lambda in this case. So this would be 3 lambda cube. So this would come out to be 8 upon 3 lambda, which is coming out to be 1 by 9. So lambda will come out to be what? Lambda will come out to be 24, right? Because this is 8 into 3, which is coming out to be 24. So 24 is the correct answer. Are you getting this point or not? Therefore 24 is the correct answer, right? So students, I have covered each and every aspect in this particular session of area, and I hope that you are able to make out best out of this particular session, right? So this is all about today's session. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care.